Hey, welcome sports fans. This is Dyan Castillejo again for PlayitRight TV with the Dean, Quinito Henson. We just came from the press conference and we want to spend a little bit of time now talking about Yordenis Ugas, the opponent of Manny Pacquiao. Quinito, not many people know about him. He definitely doesn't have the list of opponents that he's beaten like Pacquiao. He's not known. I mean, he's not up there. But today, all of a sudden, he has to step up. And we're going to talk about what kind of a fighter he is, how tough he is. But first of all, Quinito, I was actually surprised to learn that this guy, just to show you how tough he is, coming from Cuba, attempted 6 times to defect from his country. 6 times. He tried. 6 times he was caught. He was jailed, but it didn't stop him. He continued on with his boxing career. He eventually won a bronze medal in the 2008 Beijing Olympics. He's had over 500 amateur fights, and then he defected in 2010. But that just tells you about what kind of a guy he is. Like he said in his own words, I'm a fighter inside the ring and outside the ring.
He's a very determined fighter, that's for sure, Dyan. But let's set the record straight. This guy's a champion. He's the defending WBA welterweight super champion. And as you mentioned, Dyan, he did defect, but he's gone to visit Cuba. His last visit was in 2018. He still has his family there. He dedicates his boxing career to his mother, whom he loves very much. Her name is Milagros. And for Yordenis Ugas, he's actually called 54 Miracles. 54 because his best friend happens to be the New York Yankees pitcher Chapman, and he feels that there is a great affinity between him and his best friend. That's why the jersey number is part of his nickname. Miracles because his mother is Milagros. And so he feels that, although a lot of people here are saying that he has made it to the top because it was a miraculous climb. I feel he'll take more than 54 miracles to beat Manny Pacquiao.
Okay, let's talk a little bit of Quinito about how Ugas got the belt, the WBA Super Champion belt. So he came back from 2 years of absence, and then he fought again, and then he won his last fight to become the regular champion, and then in January he was elevated to Super Champion.
That's right, Dyan. The WBA stripped Manny Pacquiao because of inactivity of the WBA Welterweight Super Championship, and since Ugas was the regular champion, he was elevated to super status. The WBA is now trying to prune down the number of world champions in its roster, so they've sort of slowly eliminated the regular status, and they're just recognizing the super status. Right now, Ugas holds the belt that was once Manny's. Manny Pacquiao wants to regain that belt, wants to reclaim it. He feels that the only way that you win a championship belt in boxing is inside the ring, not in the boardroom.
Yep, and now we're going to talk about Ugas a little bit as a fighter. Of course, he's best known for his performance against Sean Porter. He didn't win that fight. Now, talking to some of the analysts here, a lot of people felt he won that fight. He felt he won that fight. That was his best performance. And I was listening to Sean Porter earlier talk about his brawl against Ugas, and he said he was surprised at the physicality of Ugas. He's obviously 5'9", way taller than Manny Pacquiao. He's big, he's strong, he's got long range, he's got a good jab, and according to his coach, he is a master at beating southpaws. Do you agree, Quinito?
Well, he had difficulty fighting southpaws in his amateur career. He fought a Canadian southpaw. He was floored twice. He did get up to win a decision. But early in his career as a professional, he went up against someone named Emmanuel. Also happens to be the same first name as Pacquiao. Emmanuel Robles was his name. And Ugas went down in that fight. He was knocked down and he lost by a split decision. That was against a southpaw. Now, according to Ismael Salas, who's his trainer, since his 2 back-to-back losses, Salas came into the picture and he has had an easy time adjusting to fighting southpaws, and he feels that fighting Manny Pacquiao as a southpaw is not going to be a problem. It remains to be seen. As you said, Dyan, he has a physically imposing body. He's a muscular, he's a big guy, his upper body is very, very big. But having said that, his upper body makes him slow. He's flat-footed. A lot of people are saying that he is a swimmer. In other words, he likes to throw punches at wide angles. When you do that, you leave your middle open. So his defense is a little suspect. His jab is very stiff. It also could be jarring, but he delivers it at a very slow pace. Also does not deliver combinations at a fast pace. So I think these are weaknesses that Manny Pacquiao will take advantage of.
Well, a lot of people have also said that Ugas knows how to pick his punches. He didn't seem bothered when asked about how he's gonna fight a fighter like Manny who comes at him from different angles. And according to his trainer, he's got better angles than Pacquiao, although we haven't really seen that in his last fight. And Ugas says, interesting enough, I guess it's his determination in him that he said it is impossible. He said, 100% impossible that Manny Pacquiao puts him down. Well, that remains to be seen. I remember so many fighters who have gone up against Manny Pacquiao, Oscar De La Hoya, Shane Mosley, all these guys before the fight, they have said, oh yeah, they know how to beat Manny. After the fight, they're all saying like, oh, I didn't know what was coming at me. Of course, we all know that Manny punches in bunches, but you know, it's been 2 years, so we never know.
Well, we talked about a sparmate who was a common denominator in the camps of both Manny Pacquiao and Yordenis Ugas. His name, Maurice Lee, a southpaw. So initially, when Manny Pacquiao was supposed to fight Errol Spence, who is a southpaw, he had Maurice Lee as his sparmate. When the opponents were changed and now Manny is fighting an orthodox fighter in Ugas, Ugas now is fighting a southpaw. So Ugas hired Maurice Lee. And we were able to talk to Maurice Lee to find out, what do you think about both these fighters? You were in both camps. And Maurice Lee said, Manny Pacquiao is definitely a better fighter. He sees him winning, possibly by knockout. He feels that Ugas is very predictable. He throws one punch at a time, so he's not a great combination puncher. And when you are slow in releasing your punches against a quick finisher like Pacquiao, this could be an early ending for Yordenis Ugas.
Well, Dennis Ugas seems to believe that this is going to be Manny's last fight because he says he's going to finish him off and he's not going to want to go back to the ring after this. Sean Porter rated him as a high B+ A fighter. Do you agree, Quinito?
Well, I think he would be an A fighter. I mean, he's a champion. He's a defending champion, and he's a very durable fighter. In his 4 losses, all of them were by decision. 3 of them were by split decision. So he's never been knocked down, or he's never been knocked out. I must say he's been knocked down, but he's gotten up to win. Never been knocked out. I think against Manny Pacquiao, it'll be a big test whether Manny can knock him out, as so many of his followers are predicting.
Quinito, I'm going to pick your brain finally and say, does Ugas have anything that you see that can combat and actually stop Manny? We've seen him in training. Does he have anything in his arsenal that can give him the surprise win? The odds are heavily favored for Pacquiao. Can Ugas pull off the surprise? And what does he need to do?
Well, 2 main weapons that Ugas will use. One is his very stiff left jab. But whether he can release it enough and with accuracy against a fast-moving Pacquiao is a question mark. Secondly is his overhand right. And that's something that Manny Pacquiao will certainly make sure that he defends against because he's a power puncher. The other thing that I might say could be a plus factor for Ugas is that he loves to dig to the body with a left hook. So maybe that's something that Manny Pacquiao also should consider. However, I also feel that Ugas will release his punches only when his feet are firmly planted on the canvas. When he's turning, he's not releasing. And Manny Pacquiao makes you turn, makes you spin, because that's where Manny Pacquiao is going. He's running circles around you. And with Ugas, if he doesn't have his feet firmly on the canvas, he's not going to be able to connect his punches. He's not going to be able to release. And that's important. Against a quick stepping fighter like Manny Pacquiao, you need to be able to release those punches quickly. Otherwise, you're not going to hit Manny Pacquiao.
Well, credit to Ugas for having the fight, the drive, the courage to face Manny, and the confidence it seems to be able to beat the legend Manny Pacquiao. We're gonna have to wait till Saturday night to see whether Ugas has it or will Pacquiao continue fighting on.